Good morning, Your Majesty. We have been fighting our way through these unknown lands for 7 days now. Endured the pains of marching, not to mention the leaves of venomous plants so sharp they can cut to the bone. I am sorry to say this, but our troops are exhausted, and I myself have discovered the bite of some unknown insect on my backside, and it's throbbing like a drum. I do not think I shall last much longer. Good luck, my lord. It was a pleasure serving you. What? A new tent? And an advisory bonus of 5 gold pieces for every furlong?
Your Majesty, I've been wandering the forests of the kingdom for years, but never have I met beasts such as these. Many of our scouts have been lured into pits by these monsters.
Pits? Your men see no further than their noses, Lillian. They stumble around the jungle like drunken goblins in a torchless cavern.
Alas, Master Dwarf, our research regarding the alcohol consumption of goblins has not, so far, reached such a conclusive breakthrough that would support the validity of this comparison.
It is with the greatest regret that I disturb your scientific discourse, my good lords, but a host of beasts is approaching from the edge of the forest. We should focus our efforts on destroying their nest. Here.
Whatever Hammercrush may say, hell itself has spewed forth these animals. By Chrome, they're even more cunning than fairies.
Lillian, help me out of this accursed pit. I was surrounded by 100 of the beasts. I let out a fearsome battle cry and the cowards scattered before my charge, but then the ground opened beneath my feet.
The ground, opened.
Your Majesty, Lillian and her scouting group report that they followed some animal tracks to a strange site with thousands of animal skeletons scattered about. Perhaps such a site would be worth a few hours' detour, not to mention the fresh bear paw stew they have promised us. Well, Lillian, this scenery certainly is magnificent. But tell me, where is this bear paw stew you promised?
To tell you the truth, the bear himself had something unpleasant to say about the matter.
Aha! Outwitted by a bear. How typical.
No, I meant it literally. I couldn't believe it at first either, but here, let him tell you himself.
The bear? Your Majesty, is it possible that Lillian's mind is affected by the junk?
Your Majesty, I am Uzumati the Guardian, defender of the border.
This bear speaks! Or perhaps it is not only Lillian whose mind has been touched by the jungle.
It is I, Uzumati the Guardian, who speaks. Silence, little man. I find it difficult to speak your language, and my time runs short. There is no time to explain everything, nor is there time for distrust.
But how should we know?
Do not speak! The forest has foretold your arrival, as the earth whispers of your prowess in battle. Not a soul from your race has visited this place for 1,000 years, but nevertheless, I shall have to place its fate in your hands. Of all the many sacred sites of our ancient race, there are only 2 that still remain. This is one. But the corruption has already set foot here as well. If you can deliver this place from the corruption, the remainder of our race will become valuable allies to your cause. But now, for me, the path comes to an end. The choice is yours.
By the goat's beard, a talking bear!
Let's pick our jaws up off the floor, shall we, Gilban? Your Majesty, I suspect that this bear is some kind of animal spirit, and the place, given its layout, must be a sacred burial ground.
Spirit, sacred ground, whatever. I sense undead about and my hammer is ready for swinging. I'll be damned if I shouldn't introduce them to one another.
Destroy the enemy base!
I shall protect these lands!
Apparently, the bear spirit spoke the truth. Our scouts are spotting ruins more and more frequently now. Zagadu says these could be the remains of the ancient elven civilization. Supposedly, this is where they departed for their journey many years ago. Indeed, I can sympathize. I wouldn't want to spend any more time than absolutely necessary in such an awful place. Ah, that reminds me, sire. Lillian has reported that over the past few hours, some scouts have gone missing. They may have gotten lost, I suppose. But I shudder to think what might have happened to them.
My lord, I believe we have found what it is we sought, but things are not looking so good. A host of animals led by an elf is doing battle with the undead among the ruins.
We have tried to make contact, but her reaction was very much hostile. Zagadu tried to speak the language of the ancient elves, but that proved to be something of a disaster.
Apparently, she believes us to be sent by the enemy. For some reason, she imagines that we have come to help the undead. Of all things.
Let me handle this. I and my hammer shall say all the words she needs to hear.
Calm yourself, Hammer Crush. If she thinks that we are her enemy, then let us deliver her a pleasant surprise. Let us destroy the undead temple. Here.
And if meanwhile she and her animals attack us?
Then we shall have to build walls to make her job all the more difficult. Defend yourself from the assault of the animals, but kill no more than 10 of them.
Once they realize that we are here to battle the undead, they will surely cease their assault.
I do hope you're right, wizard. Quickly, wipe them out!
Now they are attacking the other base. Let us join them.
Whom shall I thank for this unexpected aid?
It was His Majesty, Kilya.
Well then, thank you, Your Majesty. But how is it that you know my name?
Yesterday, we met a bear named Uzumati the Guardian. If my speculations are correct, he must have been some kind of animal spirit.
In any case, it was he who told us of you.
You speak of him as one who has departed. I see. So, finally he has reached his destination.
Perhaps not the way he would have liked, but yes. He He is now at rest.
What do you mean by that?
The burial ground was infected by the curse of the undead. By the time we arrived here, Uzumaki was already dying, and he asked us to help him cleanse this place.
The bear spirit fought bravely.
And he mentioned that you might join us in our common cause.
What would that be?
Destroying the undead.
Every last one of them. Your Majesty, we shall spend the night here and leave at sunrise to aid our brothers in the battle at Mistfall. Other than the burial ground, this is the only place that remains of our people's legacy. After a great march, only few of us survived, and even fewer remained to live out our elven lives. Most chose to transform themselves into various animal forms, thus becoming one with the forest. They gained the strength and agility of beasts, though their thoughts remained elfish. However, in time they began to behold the last sacred place of elven kind, Mistfall. In the days of old, the surrounding forests were filled with the glory of life. But now this place reeks of decay. Your Majesty, this shall be the place of our final stand. If this place is lost, then our entire race is finished.
Defend the sanctuary, here, and destroy the dark temple of the undead, here and here.
given us hope that our ancestors might have found a better world in Ardania.
Good morning, Your Majesty. I took counsel with Killia and Zagadou last night. While Gilbin busied himself raiding on, he may become even more grumpy for the rest of the journey if that's possible. But more importantly, Killia spoke for hours about the Elven nation and the battles of old. Worry not, I shan't bore you with the details. The point is, she knows of a passage to the so-called Realm of the Underworld. According to her, it is about 2 days' march from here, but the road leads through a rather unpleasant swamp. To make matters worse, the influence of the underworld becomes stronger the closer we approach.
This foul swamp was once the pride of the elven forests, but we were forced to sacrifice it. We flooded it during our war with the humans, transforming it from a beautiful paradise into a line of defense.
Pardon me, Killia, but you spoke of humans?
Indeed I did. We are now headed to the place known as the Underworld, the original home of your ancestors.
Then why did they have to be kept away from your forests?
Oh, it was not they. Our two nations lived in peace, side by side, until the day a human of terrible ambition and greed made a pact with the forces of darkness that he or she might gain unimaginable power.
You don't know who this was?
No one knows for certain, but most ancient texts suggest that it was a priestess of Krypta, who later would become feared as the Lich Queen. It might have been she, or perhaps it was another. One may but light a path, while another walks toward its terrible end. It was perhaps no fault of her own. The minds of the humans were corrupted by evil, desiring more and more power. I suppose that's all I need to say.
Not at all. Tell the story to the end, Elf.
Well, during many long years of war, our numbers dwindled, and ultimately we found ourselves on the very brink of extinction. Our leaders determined that the survivors would have to leave this continent to find a new home. It will be your turn to tell me their story once this new crisis has been averted.
But some of your people stayed behind?
Yes, and most would lay down their lives to hold off the coming darkness.
But enough talk. We must press onward. I can smell the foul stench of an underworld base. Master Dwarf, bring forth your hammer.
That's more like it.
Your Majesty, this swamp makes for dangerous terrain. It quickly swallows those who do not know its ways. I have marked the safest pathway for your men, but it is still possible that they will get stuck in certain spots and lose their pace. Also, the mist over the moor limits visibility and can reduce the efficiency of your towers.
Your Majesty, Killia sends word that we have reached the borderlands of the realm of the underworld. If we keep up this pace, we shall boom an empire by this time tomorrow. I do hope that your Majesty will find there the answer to what brought this madness to our doorstep. I am also quite curious why Killia's tale ended so abruptly yesterday.
Well, these monsters have certainly made quite a mess of your forests. But now it is our turn, Elf. I can tolerate this senseless destruction no longer.
Well spoken, dwarf, but temper your rage with cunning, for there is much at stake.
Enough talk. The enemy is attacking.
Destroy the enemy base.
now, my friends, for the road ahead holds far grimmer sights.
Your Majesty, we now stand at the border of the ancient human empire. The two realms are separate vast fissure, spanned only by a single bridge. Lillian and Gilbin have already left to take measure of its defenses, while Kilya and Zagadou are recounting to our good soldiers the tale of the creation of the fissure. Let us join them, Your Majesty.
And that, in a nutshell, is the story of the fissure.
Damn it all!
What seems to be the problem, Master Advisor?
Problem? Oh no, it's nothing.
What? You would call this nothing? And what would you call an approaching undead army?
Gilbin, Lillian, what has happened here?
Apparently, Master Gilbin has fallen into a pit again.
Damn you, malicious wizard!
We had better concern ourselves with the bridge, or by nightfall there may be no one left alive for petty quarreling.
Your Majesty, the realm of the underworld begins on the far side of the bridge.
Destroy the dark temple of the undead.
To the unknown.
I hope you can maintain that enthusiasm on the long road ahead.
Please permit me, Your Majesty, to amuse you during this amazing journey across this Crom-forsaken wasteland. If you look to the left, Isis, and on the right you can make out the ruins of a temple. If you ask me, Your Majesty, we might have been better off staying at home. 'Tis a matter of taste, of course. But that reminds me, Zagadou the Wise wishes to examine the temple ruins. Since even our soldiers cannot imagine anything better to do than investigate ancient monuments in the heart of an undead empire, I can only second the idea.
I cannot believe our luck. I never thought that it truly existed. Even my master only mentioned it as a theory. But the signs are unquestionable. There is no doubt.
Now, wait a minute, Zagadou. Don't tell me you want to go in there.
Master Wizard, our time and our supplies are dwindling, and the men are exhausted. I must advise against wasting any time on such matters.
Do you understand nothing, you fools? This is one of the ancient temples of knowledge. No one knows where these places lie hidden. Even the ancient tales of these ancient treasures are buried deep in the sands of time. The secrets it must hold.
It is no coincidence that your kind has forgotten them, Zagadou the Wise. Do not meddle in the past, or you may disturb things that were meant to rest forever in this accursed ground.
Those who blush at risk shall never court success. I learned that saying in the tavern at the University of Magic. You need not come with me if you are frightened, but I shall search that shrine.
What's that you say? No pain, no gain. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. By the beards of my fathers, you can't lose if you don't play. Does that not make far better sense? And who is it you call fool, wizard?
Children of the night! Bloodthirsty beasts! They were the death of many fine warriors in the ancient war. Their hatred has lasted all these millennia, never burning out in those dead hearts.
I and my hammer will have a say about that.
I have found what so many have sought in vain, the location of the runes of power. And this must be the home of the one who lurks behind all of these foul deeds.
I am delighted to bring you some good news at last, Your Majesty. True, Killia, who has thus far served as our tireless guide, but a shadow of her former self. Even through her elven veneer, it is clearly apparent that something is troubling her. With the help of an unholy volume, Zagadu the Wise was able to discover where we may find that evil menace that made such an insolent attempt on Your Majesty's castle. The mage has been talking to himself for days, babbling about some runes. In a word, he hasn't changed a bit since we met him in the Cloud Tower. He says that we will reach the location of the runes through a forgotten valley, where we shall face horrors never seen before. Oh, and I almost forgot. The good news, my lord. Your breakfast is ready.
I have a bad feeling about this place. Nevertheless, our scouts have reported that it is impossible to go around, so we shall just have to keep moving forward.
Indeed, we must hold our course. My calculations are correct, but I agree there is something unsettling in the air.
Then let us cut our way through to the other side quickly rather than stand here talking about it.
I second that. Our soldiers have had enough of this lifeless land.
What lost souls dare to walk this land of damnation? Children of men, and one of the despised sons of nature.
A demon, bound by chains for millennia.
I had hoped never to see him again. Let me speak the truth. He was summoned into this world as the last desperate hope of my people. Many offered up their souls to him if he would deliver victory to us.
I might have delivered victory to you ungrateful fools, but instead you have viciously trapped me here.
Had we not done so, we would not only have lost the war, but our few survivors would have suffered a cruel fate under your terrible hand.
What say you, human king. You cannot defeat me, and the undead as well. Sacrifice some of your men to me, and I shall serve you as my master. Together, we shall crush your enemies.
Beware, Your Majesty. The demon is deceitful.
You may choose defeat if you prefer. Those lying elves were content with it. Decide as you will, King.
Sacrifice one of our men to the demon, it will turn its rage against the undead for 1 minute.
Please, do not leave me here. For thousands of years I have suffered in these chains. Do not leave me here, worm. Even your great-grandchildren will pay for this!
Excellent, Your Majesty! At long last we have reached the gaping maw of the underworld, Your Majesty. We may not know what awaits us in the depths, but we'll follow you even unto the end. It also crossed my mind that we should set up a rear guard, lest our armies are attacked from behind.
The gate is protected by no less than 3 temples.
The entrance to the underworld is guarded by 3 kings of an ancient empire. According to legend, their souls were taken by the darkness.
We shall have to destroy them if we wish to enter.
An undead dragon and a terrible lord. The mine shall ring with glorious songs of victory in remembrance of this battle.
At long last we have reached the gaping maw of the underworld, Your Majesty. We may not know what awaits us in the depths, but we...
The gate is protected by no less than 3 temples.
The entrance to the underworld is guarded by 3 kings of an ancient empire. According to legend, their souls were taken by the darkness.
We shall have to destroy them if we wish to enter.
shall ring with glorious songs of victory in remembrance of this battle.
At long last, we have reached the gaping maw of the underworld.
The gate is protected by no less than 3 temples.
The entrance to the underworld is guarded by 3 kings of an ancient empire. According to legend, their souls were taken by the darkness.
We shall have to destroy them if we wish to enter.
That my people's fallen may rest peacefully in their graves.
At long last, we have reached the gaping maw of the underworld, Your Majesty.
The gate is protected by no less than 3 temples.
The entrance to the underworld is guarded by 3 kings of an ancient empire. According to legend, their souls were taken by the darkness.
We shall have to destroy them if we wish to enter.
of this battle.
My people's fallen may rest peacefully in their graves.
At long last, we have reached the gaping maw of the underworld.
The gate is protected by no less than 3 temples.
The entrance to the underworld is guarded by 3 kings of an ancient empire. According to legend, their souls were taken by the darkness.
We shall have to destroy them if we wish to enter.
terrible lord. The mines shall ring with glorious songs of victory in remembrance of this battle.
Undead king, that my people's fallen may rest peacefully in their graves.